Well, I just got back from John Wick Chapter 4, and it was fucking awesome. Usually I would do a review directly after seeing it, but I want to finish my review for the second one, considering I started it, and I don't want to have another movie review half finished. So, back to John Wick Chapter 2. Now, John Wick Chapter 4 is the best one, by the way. I probably will review the fourth one before I review the third one, but I won't upload my review for the fourth one until I upload my review for the third one. So yeah, back to John Wick 2. So as I said, that nightclub, that sequence where they're there, like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll take care of you and all that. And John's just kind of walking around like, oh yeah, you know. It's great, you know. It's a great action scene. The guy notices him and shit, and the band's like, oh, they're singing weird fucking songs and playing fucking violin or whatever. And it's a great visual treat, like very visually stunning to look at. Big butts and lovely boobs. Sorry, what I thought of that. And essentially, you know, it leads to a very long action scene, which is fucking awesome. But there's a build up before that. So he goes and meets the woman. She's just there like, oh yeah, whatever. It's like, oh, it's great to see you again, John. And she's like, it's like, yeah, it's great to see you too, and all that. It's like, how long's it been? It's been a while. It's like, I can't believe you do this. What are you gonna here to kill me? It's like, I have to do the devil's work. I have to do it. Or is it, you know, I have to do what I've been told to do, or they're gonna do bad stuff and all that. It's like, oh, I thought you were retired. I tried to. It's like, oh, I'm sorry to hear about your wife, John. It's like, thank you and all that. So it's like, I really don't want to have to do this, but I have to and all that. And it's like, okay, we'll just make it quick or whatever. It's like, oh, just whatever. And she's like changing her dress, and then she just starts to strip, and I'm like, oh god, sorry. And it's just instantly you're like, oh fuck, like, and you think they're gonna have a love scene, but they don't. And it's actually a very graphic scene, as I mentioned in the first part of the review. Like, the scene, is very graphic. Anyway, yeah, the scene is very graphic. She's there, whatever, gets into the bathtub, you see her lovely ass, like, I can't do it, John's like, you sure about this? And it's, you know, it's a great dialogue exchange, you're going back and forth and shit. And she's like, yes, I have to do this, John. It's like, okay, sorry, and all this. And it's like, it's fine. And she gets the fucking knife and cuts her fucking wrists. Oh, the blood goes everywhere. It cuts her other wrist. And it goes all over the pool. It's always a scene I remember. It's great imagery. It's fucking dark. It's graphic. Trigger warning, I guess. Well, I've already fucking... whatever. Anyway. I probably shouldn't just say whatever, because it'd be disrespectful. But you do get that, and it's all like, just lying there, it's like, yeah, whatever. And then he just kind of pulls a gun out and looks and goes, shoots her, and blood goes everywhere. And he walks out, it's like, yeah. And then you get an amazing fucking action sequence. Walks out, whatever, they're like, oh, what's going on? And they're like, what's happening, and all that. And then you cut to the guy's like, okay. So he's walking through the crowd or whatever, and he walks past this guy, the security guard, and of course John Wick knows him. So he's all like, John? And he's like, yeah. He's like, hey, how are you? It's been a while. It's like, yeah. Thought you retired. It's like, yeah. Heard about your wife. Sorry to hear about that. It's like, yeah. Helen's loss was a great tragedy. You know, they're just kind of back and forth and all that. And he's like, sorry, it has to do this. Has to come to this. Yeah. And then like, oh shit, running like, ah. And then there's tugs fucking coming everywhere, and he's like, oh shit, you know. And he shoots, gets shot down, and he goes, you know. And there's fucking tugs coming left and right, like, oh, grab him. He's fighting and fucking people up, and he's shooting them in the head, like, smacking them around, and you get another long shot. And this scene goes on for ages, but it is fucking awesome. He's there, fucking the guy up, and the guy's like, he's just there, going around the concert, stabbing him, fucking ripping, and shooting him, like, and the one take long shot it's a one take long shot, just like the first one, and it's brilliantly fucking done. Wait till I get to talk about the new movie. Holy shit! And he's just there like, oh, you know, he's like, oh god, he's stabbing fucking people, like, ah, and then he's there like, and their fucking brains are going everywhere, and it's just fucking awesome. He's like, oh shit, like, he's like, ah, it's like, get him, John, and they're shooting at each other from behind. And then there's like fucking 50 guys coming at him. He's like, oh, he's fucking people up and going, and then throwing knives at them and they're fucking hitting them in the face. And then picking his guns out of bullets, like, oh shit, and he falls down and he's fighting them and fucking them up, and he's just going around shooting a bunch of guys, blowing their fucking heads up like left and right, coming every fucking second. They're like, and it is fucking awesome. It's such a fucking awesome action sequence. And then they're like, come on, get him, and all that. It's like, what are they? And they're running like, oh shit, he's dead, she's dead, and all that. And you find her, it's like, oh shit, and he's like, god damn it, and they're fighting and fucking each other up. And then they go underground, and it's just amazing. My fucking foot hurts, holy shit. And they go underground, right? It's like, oh, and then there's like there's people coming like, fucking John's like, oh, coming everywhere. It's like, oh shit, and it's a scene in darkness, and he's just like, oh, and they're fighting. He's like, ah, shooting, the brains going everywhere. It's like, ah, shooting people in the legs, and blood's everywhere, and goes, and just fucking carnage, gore, blood, bloody violence. Like, oh shit, fucks a guy up, hits him in a knife, with a knife, goes, shoots a guy's head, fucks him up, you know, takes up a machine gun, fucking, and there's people coming out everywhere, like, falling on the ground, and it goes on, and he just goes through this dark area, and it goes on for fucking ages, but it's fucking great. He's like, oh, and then picks up a machine gun, no, a shotgun or something, goes, that one of the bad guys has, like, and then one of the best things is he fucking full on shoots a guy, and he like falls apart or something, like, he just blows up. He goes, shoots a guy with a shotgun, but fucking blood goes everywhere, and his whole fucking body like spontaneously combusts, blood goes everywhere. He just goes, and they're like, and the other guy's there like shooting him, can't hide, John. He's just like, and it's just like, what the fuck? It's such a fucking great action sequence. You know, and he's there like, it's like, god damn it, and it, like, as I said, it goes on for ages. He kills so many thugs, and they're like, and people falling down the stairs, like, you know, and it's like, oh shit, fucking them up, and underground's like, no, throwing grenades. I'm like, shit, fucking people up, and it's like, it does what a sequel should do. It continues the story and tops the action, and it does that fucking brilliantly. So he's there like, oh shit, they're behind people, fucking people up, and the scene just goes on, and kills a bunch of people, and he's there fucking people up, people coming out every side, like, he's hiding, and it goes on for ages. Eventually he shoots them all, kills them, like, whatever, and he runs off like, okay, I gotta go, and gets hit, and he runs off like, oh god, and you get the music, dun, dun, dun. He's just running off like that, and you're kind of just like, holy shit. What a fucking great action sequence. This, yeah, and I believe the deaf chick comes out, and she's like, and John's like, and she's like that, whatever, and then she finds him, and she's like, okay, go this way, they're running, and she's like this, whatever, and those scenes are amazing. Like, she goes after him. She's kind of like the replacement of the girl from the first one. So she's just like, and you're like, you know, he's just running off, and you're just like, adrenaline rush. Such a fucking awesome action sequence. And walks off, whatever, and you're just kind of like, holy shit. It's like, I gotta go, come on, you know, and you're there like, what a fucking great great action scene. And you know, you're just kind of there after watching it, being like, "Whoa, that was awesome!" You're like, just fucking awesome. And you know, so many fucking bullets get blown and on the ground, and the great sound effects, and him cutting in, always reloading, just like the first one. Really great. But I love that. I really do love that. And you know, you get all the scenes with the villain. The villain's like, okay, you've got to find, like very similar to the first one. Like, okay, you got to stop. You got to fucking find John Wick. You got to kill him. It's like, how do we do that? We're gonna get him. We're gonna do this. We're gonna fuck him up. Okay, we're gonna kill the motherfucker. You know, all that kind of shit. And he's in different places. Like, he's like, did he do it? Oh, your sister's dead. Like, oh, we found her dead. It's like, great. Now, put a bounty on John Wick. Kill John Wick. Kill him and all that. It's like, really, sir? It's like, yes. And then he's at like different places. Like, oh, your sister's dead, and he's there at different parties. I believe he's even at the parties, and he's like, yes, kill John Wick. We gotta kill him. And he's going to the party. He's like, gotta fucking kill the guy. And then like all the dialogue scenes between the villain, great. And then Ian McShane eventually talks to the villain. He's like, you do realize what has to happen. It's like, oh, you can't put a bounty on his head. It's like, you realize that you trained him. It's like, I know, but the boy's insane. And I like that they gave Ian McShane a bigger role in this one, and he has a bigger role in all the sequels. In a weird way, I actually kind of think that number 2 is the start of kind of a trilogy. The one where John Wick is on the run, when he becomes excommunicado at the end of this one, and then in the third and fourth one it has serious consequences and repercussions. You know, he's like, I can't stop him. He's like, yes, you can. You know, he's a student of yours. If you don't kill him, then I will. All this, like, okay, whatever. And then like John Wick, so many great moments. And then you have like a lot more of Lance Reddick and Ian McShane's like, is this okay? It's like, for the things like, he's like, yes, Mr. Wick is staying here. It's like, okay. And then you know, you even have like people going, I want to see John, the boss. Like, he's not here right now. May I take a call? It's like, yeah, he's in back. And then the villain comes, puts the coin down and goes, I want to see the boss. It's like, yes, he's in here this way. It's like, oh, it's great to see you again. It's like, yeah. And then there's great dialogue scene between them two. Like, I gotta kill John Wick. It's like, oh yeah, of course, you know. And then throughout the film, just like the first one, you get great shots of the city, overhead shots, kind of shots of the city, bird's eye view shots, just throughout the film. Great shots, brilliant transitions as well. Beautiful day and nighttime scenes, just gorgeously fucking stunning to look at. You know, and then you have all the scenes with this chick. The first scene, she pops up, gets out of the car, whatever, and then he's like, you're here to do this, and she's always like, you know, it's like, yeah, you're gonna do this, kill him for me. He's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, you're gonna do this that way or whatever. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I even love the scene. I don't know if it's to John Wick or to someone else, but she goes like this. It's like, how much more time is there? She goes, just flips him off just for the one. It's like, okay, it's like, okay, we go and fucking get him. What are we gonna do? We're gonna kill him, okay? You know. And the villain wasn't just generic. The villain was great. This is one thing that I think all the John Wick films have in common. Great villain. I will say that the villain in number 3 was probably my least favourite, which I'll get to that soon. I actually think the villain in the new one's the best. I'm not gonna spoil the new one, but this, well, not yet until my review. But this one, I really do like the villain. And by the way, it's not because the villain's a girl in number 3 before anyone starts getting offended or anything. Well, it's a little bit, not joking. I just kind of thought she was weak compared to the other 2. The other 3. Whatever. Anyway. So, you know, and you also have great scenes of the dog looking up and shit. And, you got people sitting down like, oh, the Bubba Yaga, is he home? It's like, oh, no, you'll have to wait. It's like, okay. And then it's like, whose dog is that? It's John Wick's. Like, oh god, you know, you have these thugs kind of looking there or whatever, and people looking around and shit. So I love that. Yeah, I really do. But you also have What else do you have in this one? I don't think. Um, you have great like kind of recreation shots from the first one as well. Like John, the low shot of him walking into the hotel, and even the exact same shot of the hotel pops up again, which is used again in number 4. I don't know if it's. I can't remember if it's in number 3. I know the hotel is, but I can't remember if the the shot's there. And he walks in, he's like, yeah, and he comes in. He's like, I need to see. He walks in, he's like, hello, Mr. Bay. He's like, I need to see the boss. And Lance Riddick's character's like, certainly, it's like, he's in this way. He's like, okay. Walks in, whatever. He's like, is the boss in? He's like, the boss is always in, sir. This way. He's like, okay. And then he's like, could you mind him for me? And he's like, yes, of course, sir. And the dog's like, And the dog, I love that the dog is in the whole film. Like, the dog at the end, the first one's in this one, and all 3 of the sequels. And it was great, like, great character, and there's a lot of great scenes where the dog's like, it's like, oh, there he is, like, and he's like, well, hello, come this way, and there's all those kind of cute scenes with Lance Riddick and the dog, like, oh, yeah, whatever. And of course, near the end of the film, it's like, hello, Mr. Biggs, like, hello, it's like, are you doing okay? It's like, yeah. It's like, was the dog great? It's like, it was great having him here. He was great company, and it just looks down, it's like, come on, good boy. Gets in the car, drives off, it's like, see you, Mr. Wick, see you, So I love that. By the way, I made a mistake in my John Wick 1 review. I don't know if I mentioned, Lance Riddick, like, turned against. He doesn't turn against John Wick. I always kind of felt like they did because of the scene at the end where he shoots him off the roof where he makes it. But that's, look, it's explained in the 4th one, so, yeah, my bad on that. But, so I love that. And of course you get, like, honestly, just as I said, a lot of great fucking action shootouts, and hand-on-hand combat like the first one, but there's more of it, and they expand and they build upon it. I believe like John Wick. I believe later on John Leguizamo appears again, like during the scene where he does. He appears like on the phone or whatever, just the whole excommunicado shit. But yeah. Then, you have to go to my sister's dead, and he's like, oh, we have to pay the price, whatever. It's like, and then he goes off, I blew up his house, and he walks away. It's like, it's great, Yeah, he's there in the mansion or whatever. And once again, amazing scenery. You see the cars pulling up and shit. It's like that concert place. And the way that the gun adds to the music, like the he's in the crowd, like, oh shit, shooting, like, that fucking scene's awesome. But there's, the first half of the movie, it's all kind of more dialogue based, as I said, which I'll admit, like, the only real issue I have with this one is sort of like, it kind of does mess with the pacing a little bit, but honestly, I don't mind, and to be honest, it's not going to affect my rating, because this is a 10 out of 10. I'm just going to say now, and I'll rate it again after I finish the review. But, a lot of it's like, it started, it's like, okay, here you go, he goes to this place, what is this, like, a coin, it's for thing, it's like, okay, you can't, you have to do this, that, it's like, the other's like, okay, yeah, sure, walks off. Then, like, he's walking with the white t-shirt, it's like, okay, hello, Mr. Wick, and all this, okay, here you are, Mr. Wick, and all that. It's like, the boss in, it's like, yeah, he is, this way, he's like, okay, thank you, walks in limp, and he's also walking with his dog as well. I also just love, after the whole gas leak, that whole sequence, like, like that whole scene where he comes in, like, evening, John's like, evening, how are you, and all that, and he's just like, good, it's like, I'm sorry to hear about your wife, and you get that whole, as I said, that whole scene, where he talks to, the guy, where he's there, he's like, good dog, and the guy comes and talks to the meeting and shit, he's like, it's great to see you, sorry to hear about your wife, it's fine, you want anything to drink? He's like, oh no, it's fine, but that there's, this, leaving this is okay, and you think he's being nice at first, and you're like, yeah, there's something about this guy, but he plays a very devious and very villainous role, I sound like Jack Black there, but anyway, he goes, so, that there's always repercussions and consequences if someone leaves this life, it's like, yeah, I know, throws the coin or whatever. And I also love when he takes the thing out, he's looking at it later on, he goes like, here you are, it's like, okay, thank you, takes that, whatever. You can't do this or whatever, you know. And you just hear they're talking or whatever. And their dog's a cute dog or whatever. It's like, yeah, so you know there's consequences, and then goes off. It's like, yeah, so they're just talking back and forth. Sorry to hear about Helen, yeah, blah blah blah. And then like goes outside and then just fucking gets the thing. He's like, yeah, see you, John. And then John's like, see you, bye, or whatever. And then he starts fucking firing up this kind of grenade, whatever, putting bombs in it, and going, he's like, oh, blows up the whole fucking house. He's like, smashing the fucking windows, like, blown up, shoots the window, shoots the other window, smashes it, you know, and the dog's like, oh, and John Wick gets up, he's like, and the dog's like, waking him up, and he just walks off. And then just even, like, the whole scene where it's like, fucking, everyone's around, the cops are there, and he's like, he's out there with the dog, and then Jimmy comes back, the guy from the first one. He's like, hey John, he's like, hey Jimmy, and it's kind of like a take on the line, except it's kind of the other way around. He's like, gas leak. He's like, yeah. Take care of yourself, John. He's like, okay. What the hell happens? Like, yeah. Oh, I don't know, just old business. He's like, you working again? He's like, not exactly, possibly. He's like, okay, see you, John. He's like, yeah. Walks off. And then like and then you get that shot of the city, and then him just walking with his dog, off with his dog, and walking with his dog to New York, walking through New York City. It's fucking awesome. It is awesome. And I said it, like, I just think that the fucking action scenes in this film are unbelievable. They are unbelievable. And you know, they walk off, and you know, one sec. As they're walking off, whatever, you know, he goes like, he's the boss in. Obviously, he goes to see Winston. He's like, okay, and he's like, oh, John Wick, you know. And they go to that mansion. He's like, Winston, and he sits down. A great shot between. He's like, oh yeah, it's great to see you again. He's like, yes, you too. It's like, sit down. He's like, what happened? I heard about what happened to your house. He's like, yeah, I want to leave the life. He was like, you do realize that leaving this life, Jonathan. He's like, Jonathan. He's like, Jonathan. He's like, Winston, and that's always what he refers to him as, Jonathan. It's like, you do realize, Jonathan, that leaving this life is always a bad idea. And he's like, yeah, you know. By the way, count how many times John Wick goes, yeah, in all 4 of these films. Yeah. Anyway, so they're sitting there, it's like, yeah, this is the way it is and all that. It's like, well, listen, you're gonna have to be careful. You know, these people on your dad, you're gonna have to do what he says, blah 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 blah. You know, and all that kind of shit. It's like, you gotta be careful. It's like, yeah, here's a guy you can talk to. It's like, you gotta do this right. It's like, leaving this life is bad. I know, but I have to leave behind for Helen. It's like, you got yourself into this, you know, over a dog and all this shit. It's like, it's not just a dog, you know. And then the other dog's like, I like the dog there, John, but you gotta be careful who you're fighting with and all this shit. It's like, yeah, see you, Winston's like, yes, see you, Johnson. It's a great heavy dialogue scene, the walking off and shit. And John Wick going and talking to him like, yeah, it's great, yeah, sure, okay, cool. And then going to like the confrontation with the villain and him, and the villain's like, oh, that's great, yeah. And then goes like, well, John, you didn't take my offer well. It's like, you blew up my house. Like, yeah, well, I have to. You know what the rules are, John. And like, you know that there's certain rules and shit. Like, that's kind of coming into this film. And there's also I love all the different subtitle scenes. Like, this happens. Oh yeah, the Baba Yaga, and it's all popping up. It's like, where is he, and all that kind of shit. It's like, there's always different things, and then you kind of sees the woman. She's there, like, walks off, doing the whole subtitle thing, and he's there like, you know, there's consequences. Like, yeah, I do. You gonna retire, or are you gonna come after me? I'll come after you, kill you. He's like, oh yeah, good luck with that. Walks off, however. So it's a great scene. It's like, yeah, and they're talking different language, and well, the villain is, and I just like that, and I also like how young the villain is as well. Like the villain in the second, third, and fourth one are quite young. It's very sinister. Although there's kind of 2 villains in the first one. The guy that kills the dog, of course. But it's just such a great moment, and you get the do scene, and then Ian McShane talking to fucking Lance Riddick, who's there at behind the desk, like, you there? He's like, is Mr. Wick will be here soon? He's like, thank you, and all that, and then the villain's like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. It's like, yeah, Wick knows what he's doing and all that, and then the scenes between Ian McShane and the main villain are always great. It's like, he knows the bounties, like he knows the consequences, he knows what's gonna happen and all that. It's like, oh yeah, I'm aware of that, And then it's like, yeah, I sure Mr. Wick means no harm. It's like, oh, we have a suite here available, and then of course the scenes with Lance Reddick and Ian McShane are great as well. Walking around like, make sure Mr. Wick does this, like, of course, make sure John does this, like, of course Mr. Wick would be able to do that and all that. And by the way, Lance Reddick does a really great Nigerian accent. I actually didn't realise he's not a Nigerian actor. He's African American. Because I do believe the John Wick movies are possibly the only thing I've seen him in. I know he's in The Wire. God, it sucks that he passed away. It really fucking sucks that he died. He's so young as well, At least he got to be in the fourth one momentarily. And it's kind of sad, like, I'll get to that when I get to my review of the fourth one, but so walking off, whatever, and I said that a lot, walking off, that's a drinking game for you. Just all the dialogue and the editing is fresh, and then like people are like, I need to see this person, like we have a, and then I love the whole part. It's like, Mr. Wick, we have perfect, where Lance Reddick's like, we have perfect place for you to go here. It's like, you go here and do this and all that. It's like, okay, cool, and I love that bit where John was like, yeah, thank you, and he's there on the t-shirt, he's just there at the table like, yeah, that's great. And he's just like, thank you, whatever, and he's ready to do something. There's great shots, and then he just goes, ah, like that, just screams or whatever. It's like, holy shit. Because, oddly enough, for someone who kills so many people, I always feel like he's really mellow in these movies. As weird as that is, like, really relaxed, mellow, all that kind of shit. But, yeah, so you get to that, and, you get to the part where he goes, like, here you are. Like, here's the underground places, and he goes like, oh wow, he goes underneath, it's like, here he goes, like, hello Mr. Wick, and he had the British guy, we got all the best guns for you. He's like, I think I need a gun. He's like, oh, I'm afraid you never asked. Like, here's the nicest suit for you. He's like, oh nah. He's like, nice, that'd be nice, He's like, here's this machine gun, this gun's like, you got this one? He's like, yeah, here they are, sir. And he goes, anything else, Mr. Wick? He's like, yeah, have this over here. He's like, great. And then the other guy's like, come on this way, Mr. Wick, and all that. And he's just there like, and all that. It's like, yeah, and he's suiting up, and he gets his suit on, and fucking loading runs up, and that'll be all, sir. It's like, yeah, it's like, it'll be a pleasure, Mr. Wick, and all that. And then your guy's like, come on, Mr. Wick. It's like, here it is, John, and all that. It's like, here you go. It's like, that's great. And he's looking at this map. If you go here, that's where he'll be. He's like, thank you. You're very welcome, Mr. Wick, and all that. And they go off. And even when he goes into that one place, like, here you are. It's like, oh, Mr. Wick, right this way, just before that they're there like that. Like, oh, okay, right this way, Mr. Wick, and all that. So I loved all that. And of course, everyone's like, nice to see you again, John. Hi, John, walking through the streets, people looking and stuff, and great shots of people, just all of that. And in the city, of course, being really colourful. And it's like each movie, cities, subways, they all get more and more colourful. But all the scenes of the villains, great as well. Like, oh, kill him, we gotta kill him, all that shit. Gotta kill John Wick. And then the sign language and the scenes, and then him going like this, and the woman going like that, and going shooting people, and the bad guys going to different people. Yeah, so I'm like trying to think. This is also, I guess this is also the movie that introduces Lawrence Fishburne's character, so you actually get a reunion for The Matrix, which is kind of cool. And Lawrence Fishburne's character is in all of the sequels. Sorry, itchy fucking throat. So it's at a point where John Wick's like, the guy's like, come on this way and all that. It's like, I'm here to see him or whatever. And then the guys come in or whatever, it's like, come on this way. He's like, okay, sure. They walk in. I believe he walks into this place. He's like, here you are. He's like, you really can't be here, John, as I live and breathe, And then you just get, he walks there and you have fucking Lawrence Fishburne petting the pigeon. And this is like way later on in the movie. His role is much bigger in the third and fourth one, especially the fourth one. But like he turns around and goes, "Is I live and breathe, John fucking Wick, the king, motherfucker," and all that. He's like, "What do you want, John's like, listen, I need your help." It's like, "Oh, I haven't worked with you in years," and all that. It's like, "Oh shit, Matrix reunion." He's like, "Yeah, well listen, I need your help." It's like, "Need my help? With what? Why the fuck would I help you?" And all this shit. It's like, "I need to do this. Like, these bad guys are after me. Oh, I believe you're excommunicado. You're lucky that I don't kill you or whatever," and all that. By the way, he's actually been told to take. John told the homeless guy to take to him. Sorry, I kind of fucked that up. The homeless guy's like, "Yeah, whatever." It's like, "Why should I fucking help you?" It's like, "Because I got whatever you want. We can team up. We can do this." It's like, "Oh, are you sure about that?" And it's just this nice kind of back and forth dialogue between them. And it's like, yeah. It's like, "I like pigeons. You gotta spread your wings and fly, baby." Throws the pigeon up and they fly off. It's like, "We're here, we're homeless, this is what we're doing." So he's a homeless guy or whatever. And this is what we gotta do. Come on this way. And then he's like, "Yeah, we gotta do this." And they're just talking. It's like, "You sure?" It's like, "Yeah, we gotta kill him." He's like, "Ha ha 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 ha." And then he just laughs and he walks, and then it cuts to him like going around this bunker like, "We gotta go and do this, baby. We got all the guns here." And all. "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna need a gun, baby. Gotta get him," and all that. So I like that kind of exchange between them and stuff. It's like, "Here you are." It's like, "Here you go," and they're all like go on out, fight. It's like, "Come on, let's go this way," or whatever, and they walk off or run off. It's like, "Come on, let's go," and then it kind of cuts back and forth. It's like, "Yeah, he's gonna be a dead man," and he's a dead man. He's a crazy son of a bitch. And then you have a great shot of him petting the bird later, and then it kind of cuts back and forth, like, "Oh, where is he? What's he doing?" and all this kind of shit. It's like, "Oh, he's excommunicado. That's a crazy thing. He's a crazy motherfucker." So I loved all of those kind of scenes. I'm trying to think, is there, like, I know in 3 and 4 there's like a scene where he has to do some porn thing. I don't think it's in this one, but where he has to like join the group or whatever. But yeah, and they have the coins like, "Here you are," they give that whole shit. But like, as I said, the dialogue scenes, the slower scenes are great as well. I think there's a scene where Ian McShane goes to Lance Fishburne, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I just told what John Wick's supposed to do, baby. He's gonna kill every motherfucker." And he's like, "John Wick, we got," and they're like, "We got," and then the bad guys are there like, "John Wick, put a bounty on his head, kill him." Sorry if I'm waffling all over the place. I'm just trying to get everything right. It's like, "Kill this motherfucker," and they're like, "Yeah," and then the deaf woman's like that. And you get like great shots of the different like cities, like like Italy. I'm pretty sure they go to, which they always do great traveling. It's like, "Oh, here you are." It's like, "Where is it?" "Oh, it's in Italy." It's like, "Okay, we gotta go here," whatever. It's at the continent, and you always get lights, and there's people, fancy suits like evening sir and all that. So I loved all of that, like action and shit. But then, like, you have the villain who's like, one of the villains is the henchman, who's the kind of security guard. Is like, "Yes, sir, he's here." It's like, "Make sure you kill him. Make sure you get him." It's like, "Yes, sir." And so I was like, "Where the fuck is he, John? Like, John, where the fuck are you?" All that kind of shit. And him and John fight quite a lot. So you do get another fantastic action fight scene where they're there. They're like, "What?" And they see each other like, and they're like, "Oh," and they're like, "Oh," they're fucking fighting each other and hitting each other like, "Oh shit." Fighting like, come on. It's going on for ages, and they're fucking. And by the way, every John Wick movie has him getting thrown through glass, like whatever. But I'll get to that. And like fighting, like, and they're hitting each other like, "Oh shit." And I believe there's other people coming around like, and he's there shooting them and shit, and they're like, whatever. And then he's there fucking them up left and right, and fucking them up. They're punching for ages, and they're hitting against each other, and they're like punching like, "Oh shit," and then like, and they start rolling down the fucking stairs, which I think is fucking hilarious. And he's like, "Oh shit," and they're fighting, and boom, and then they're running away at one point, and I believe like he drives into him and goes, "Oh," and he fucking falls over and shit. And then they're fighting more and more throughout the town. It's like, "You can't get away with this, John." It's like, "Yeah." "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah. this isn't enough, John. Then they're running, they're fighting in public, boom, boom, they're fighting on the streets, and then they're on like a fucking balcony punching and hitting each other and shit like that. It's like, oh shit, and they're fighting like, oh, and then like they just start going through different buildings like, smashing through restaurants, like fucking hitting each other, smacking, and just the hand-on-hand combat is brilliant. The violence is great. They're like, oh, fucking each other up, punching. Then they walk into this hotel and they're like, and then the guy comes in, gentlemen, there will be none of this happening tonight. You know, and once again, the little bits of humour they have in the John Wick movies are great. There's a lot of great humour in the new one, actually. I gotta say, the humour in the new one was spot fucking on and was very funny. Especially the dog. So it's like, would you all care to have a drink? Because it's all this nice restaurant. It's fucking fancy as hell. He's like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, it's a bourbon, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because they know each other. And they go into the bar, they go into the lounge, they drink. It's just a great moment. It's like, thank you, and they're drinking. And then you have the fucking deaf girl there. She's there, like, in the crowd going like that as well. And then she's there, the bar's like, why do you have to do this? Like, you know, you're excommunicado. There's a lot of things you're doing wrong. Why'd you leave the life? I left the life because of the dog. It's like, why do you do this? For a fucking dog? It's like, that dog meant everything to me. It's like, look, I'm sorry about Helen, but it's all horrible. It's like, yeah, you wouldn't get it. And it's just that great moment where the good guy and bad guy are just talking. The dialogue between them is awesome. You know, and there's so much depth to like the even the more henchman-y characters are great. They're not just generic thugs. They're written really well, you know. So I was like, yeah, that's great. It's like, look, I'm sorry about Helen, that was awful. It's like, yeah, I know, or whatever. It's like, well, you realise that I'm gonna kill you, you know that? It's like, oh, not if I kill you first, and all this kind of shit. It's like, yeah, we'll see about that, and walks off, or whatever. And I don't know if the film was like, oh, we gotta kill him, we gotta kill John Wick. Walks down, and then the girl's like, what? You guys like, what? And she's like, you want a drink or whatever? It's like, no, I don't want a drink from you. It's like, okay. And they're talking. It's like, okay, whatever. And I believe that they go off, and there's like another scene where they talk, I think, and then she goes like that. And I remember the film and go, oh, that's great. That's how you do that for John Wick, whatever. But she's there like that, and then John Wick's like, yeah, drinks, fucks off. You know. So it's a great scene. I believe he walks outside and it leads to another action scene. I could be wrong. They walk out. It's like, yeah, whatever. There's more dialogue. Just people coming out. It drives people in taxis like, and like, grab him. You know, I don't think there is. I don't think that's the next one. But it's like, fucking people up, stabbing them, shooting them, blood going everywhere. It's awesome. But eventually, like, we know what we're gonna do with you, John, and all that. And then you get to when the movie's action starts getting more insane. The hit gets put on Mr. Wow. The hit gets put on Mr. Wick's head. It's like, here you are, Mr. Wick. And, you know, the scene is so iconic. You cut to this kind of mail room, like, yeah, whatever, they're putting stuff. I was like, yeah, whatever. And this is actually something that's in all the John Wick sequels. It's in 2, 3, and 4. And they're like, yeah, go on. And the woman is there, like, pulling out the file, pulls out the picture, see Keanu Reeves, stamps it down, John Wick, excommunicado, target. It's like, John Wick, excommunicado, target, lock on John Wick, or whatever. And there's just people going like that, whatever. It's like, John Wick, excommunicado, right? And then it's just like, John Wick, excommunicado, in effect in 5, 4, 3, in effect in 3 days, or whatever. Now, or whatever. And then you just have like scenes of people walking John Wick, and you know, there's people looking, and they hear it or whatever, and there's people on the radio looking on the gun, and then you have John Leguizamo in the fucking car park is kind of just looking. You got people playing violins, you know, stopping and then pulling out guns. You have people behind restaurants getting guns. You have people on the streets getting guns. Sumo wrestlers, just random people, thugs, random carjackers, all these different people just throughout the entire film, getting guns and shit, and just going and fucking great, you know. And then for that moment, you have him kind of being on the run, and that's when you just lead to these amazing fucking action sequences. And then obviously everyone else who's already after him is there. And you also have Ian McShane's like, oh, what have you done, Jonathan? You know, and then you have, you know, Lance Reddick is at the hotel kind of looking around, and so is, you know, the dog is there like that, and then, you know, Ian McShane. So I enjoyed those kind of like little moments as well. They were fun. I'm gonna pause this for a sec because I kind of needed a little bit of a breather. Who is your favourite fearless John Wick? Sorry. Anyway, that's what I was saying. John Wick, chapter 2. So, yeah, I love the fucking action scenes and the style, the editing, the comedy, the writing, and just like when you get to Excommunicado, it's suspenseful because he's there walking through the streets and there's people there walking around, and he's just like, and there's people there like, and he's just kind of looking, he's kind of running, and then people are like, random people's like, oh shit, people coming out and it's like, and just fucking badass action scenes like, oh shit, fucking them up and pew 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 and shooting and going fucking them up. And then there's these two fat fucking bastards, no, not too fat, that's mean, there's this girl like that just pulls out going like, oh shit, and fighting this big fat guy and this other guy, and they're on the street like, oh shit, and he's there and he fucking shoots someone, and then the fat guy's like, oh god, and they're fucking hitting each other like pew pew pew, and then like he gets on top of him and like, that's what she said, he gets under like, and he fucking gets a gun and like fighting and struggling fighting him, and then just shoots the fucker in the head like, you know. And then I love this whole idea like everyone's after him and he won't take it, like people are like, oh, and he's just there, you know. And then, you know, he's running, there's a chase scene with him and the other guy, like, I believe there's more car chases, like, you know, with his car and shit. Well, obviously his car, but oh god, I might watch porn later, I don't know. That was so weird. Oh my god, my inside voice. Sorry. So, hold on. Oh. Anyway, so he's walking through there. He sees the other guys like, where's John Wick? It's Excommunicado. And you just see people looking at him on the streets. It's like, get him. He's there. You know, just walking or whatever. And he walks into a busy train station. He's like, come on, let's go this way and all that. And I love it. It's great. You know, I was walking, and then just the other guy's walking, and then they're just kind of like walking and fucking shooting at each other, going like that. And you get to the train station, and you get to a fucking badass scene. These other two toes kind of come up to him, and he just goes, shoots them both, like hitting them like, ah, and the other guy goes, ah, and they're fighting and fucking each other up and shooting. He shoots the other two fuckers, and all that. And it's like, oh, whatever. Stops. Gets in the train, they're on the train looking at each other or whatever, and it's all kind of like suspenseful, and it's fucking great, to be honest, and absolutely love it, and you know, I love when people are coming out with it, going, oh, whatever. You know, and like when he's fighting that guy and shoots the fucker in the head, it's fucking awesome. But as I said, the shootout scenes, fucking amazing. And they're always long as well. You know, so that was like awesome. And then you also have that, I believe, the deaf chick on. You know, so that's great. And the train station's colourful, like him looking, and the shot's great. But he's there in the train, they're just kind of looking at each other, just everyone getting on. And then as everyone's kind of getting on, like, ah, they're fighting, hitting each other, fucking each other, like, boom, boom. And everyone gets on, it's like, yeah, you can't do this, John's like, yeah, he's smacking his head against the thing, like, fucking each other up, they're shooting, whatever. He's running, there's other guys, shooting, whatever. And he's running, and then he's like, this other guy going, whatever, and he's just running after him, like, and this other guy's like, oh shit, and he's like, fucking him up and hitting him, and there's people, hey, get him, it's him, and all that. He's running, fucking him up and shit. And then this homeless guy's like, you can't do it, what's going on, you know, everyone's here, whatever. And then John Wick just gets down, he's like, take me to him. And he gets down, and then the guys are there before we're shooting at him, like, when they come out around, it's like, you know, hey, have you seen anyone here? No, I haven't seen anyone. Then the fucking homeless guy just goes, shoots the guys in the head, like, keep your head down, I'll bring you to him. He's like, thank you. And then that's when they go, when he walks through and brings him to Lawrence Fishburne. And as I said, Lawrence Fishburne's character is hilarious. You know, it's like, here you go. It's like, yeah. He's like, what did you... And then Ian McShane, he visits him like, what did you do? You know, it's like, I just told Wick that he has to do what he has to do, you know. I don't know if the film's like, did you do anything? Oh, no, I didn't do anything, motherfucker, you know. And it's just... The film's like, yeah, the bad guy goes, yeah, he got away or whatever. And then, you know, to the main film's like, okay, let's get him. And he's walking around and shit. And it's just, you know, you get more of the music and the great shots. It's just fucking love it. And what else do we have? Yeah, so then we get to the finale, which I love. It's like, I'm gonna need a gun. It's like a lot of guns. Like, okay, you're gonna need it, whatever. And he's getting ready to suit up, getting the fucking gun going, like that. Great suit up scene. Gets the suit on, whatever. Puts it in. He's like, let's go. It's like, good luck, John. Walks off. I believe it's Lawrence Fishburne or McShane. He says that to, and then you get a scene between. I believe he's like, the film's like, is the boss in? He's like, yeah. It's like, you know, we have this deal for Wick. You know, it's like, oh yes, I do. And then there's a scene between John and Ian McShane, like, you do realise you're going to have to hand up. It's like, I can't let this go. It's like, John, you know, it's a bad idea to disobey the table. You know, that's what they often say. Oh, and the main villain's like, I'm the head of the table. It's like, you can't disobey the table. The table, like, that's the big organisation that they're behind and shit. It's like, you can't disobey the table, John. It's like, okay, but I have to, whatever. So then he goes to this art gallery. He's like, oh, it's great art. It's amazing, you know. They're smoking or whatever. And you get into this, just as I said, another epic finale that actually tops the finale of the first one. The third act tops the finale of the first one so much. I absolutely love it. Like, that's great. It's like, and the chick's like that. It's like, yeah, whatever. And John comes in. He's like, yeah. It's like, oh, Mr. Wick, you here? It's like, yeah, whatever. And people are like, yeah, let's go. And everyone's happy. And then just, and I also love how creepy it is as well at times. Like, because it kind of cuts back and forth to the mail. It cuts back to the mail room a lot. It's like, John Wick, and they always go up to the board and they write on, like, oh, bounty $50. They go, John Wick, excommunicado, and it cuts back and forth, John Wick, and they have the coins, excommunicado. It's like, they have it there, and they're sitting at the table. You see the villain sitting at tables at point. It's like, yeah, whatever, we're gonna kill him and all that. John Wick, excommunicado, and everyone kind of stops working and then starts working again. It's just fucking weird. I was like, yeah, everyone's there, like, whatever, and it's all the party, like, yeah, let's go. And Wick walks in, he's like, Mr. Wick, and everyone stops. And, like, you have build up to that scene, like, yeah, whatever. And then he just goes, and they're like, shooting. It's like, grab him. And then the bad guys are all like, ah. And then there's fucking, like, then you get another one shot, and they're like, fucking people up in the art gallery, smashing through windows, hitting John Wick, and, like, I like the injuries that he fucking takes. It's like, holy fucking shit, you know. And it's fucking awesome. He's like, oh shit. He's there like, oh, and fucking shooting people in the mouth and their brains and fucking throwing a knife, and they're like, oh. And like, I love when he throws a knife and fucking slits their throat as they're like, oh shit, and then fucking people up, gets a machine gun, you know, hitting the fucking main villain. They're like, and then the other guy's there, the baldy fucker's there shooting at him, like, and then the fucking other woman's there, and he's just there, oh, fucking people up, and blood going everywhere, and he's like, believe it, he blows a guy's fucking head up at one point. It's like, such a badass special effect. It's gory, shooting other people, it's like, fucking blood's going everywhere. Because that's what I love about the underground scene, where he's like, blood's fucking going everywhere, his body just goes in half. And I love that scene, you know. As I said, I love that scene with the taxi, and I love that he's on the car, and I love the whole Lawrence Fishburne turning around and shit. It's awesome, the pigeon. It's like, oh shit, you know, he's there fucking up, and he's going into different rooms, and he's like, fuck you, Mr. Wick, and then fucking shooting people, and falling off balconies, and fucking people up, shooting everyone. That's awesome. Sorry, I was like getting a bit too excited. Anyway, so they're there, he's shooting motherfuckers, capping motherfuckers left and right, and then you know, killing them and shit, and then like you know, just like whatever, and like come on, stop him, and then fucking people up, and then it's like whatever, and then the girls there shooting at him, and I believe they're shooting at the train station as well, and then you get an amazing final act where they go into this mirror room, and it's real white and colourful. It's like, you can't hide, Mr. Wick, or whatever, and there's people coming out, and he's like, oh, smashing windows and fucking them up and shooting them, like, and it's like, fuck you, and then fighting the main villain and fighting the woman, and they're like, oh shit, and he's smashing through windows, like, come on, and he's just going through, he's like, no, come on, he's fucking them up and shooting the guy. And also there's a part I believe where I'll get to that part soon actually, you know, he's there fucking people up, like it's like, Mr. Mike, oh, fucking, they're stabbing him and shooting him, and the girl's there, and then that's when she's there like that with the gun, and it's all like, and they're like fighting and fucking shooting, fucking, and it's just like millions of thugs coming left and right, and he's just there fucking exploding the cunts and fucking shooting them. It goes on for fucking ages, like, it's like smashing and fucking shooting, whatever, fighting, hand-on-hand combat, fucking them up, smashing them in glass, and he's like, you can't stop Mr. Wick, and they're shooting like through all these different art kind of things, like smashing, and like, oh shit, and different art kind of things. I believe the British guy appears later on, from that's one, the whole excommunicado scene, or a different one, I don't know, but anyway, they're shooting, like, it's like, come on, let's go, and they're fighting, fucking each other up, and then I believe he's like, you can't stop this, Jonathan. He's there like, yes I can, and all this, and they're fucking each other up, and then fighting, like, and then she's hitting him, fucking hitting him, and you have the whole scene, punching him and stopping him, and just as you think he's gonna kill her, he defeats her, she fucks her up, and she goes, be seeing you around, and he's like, not if I see you first. Then he walks off. And then you have cut back to forth with the scene, the main villain talking to Ian McShane, like, it's like, you can't stop him. It's like, you know, if he breaks the rules, he's fucked. You know, it's horrible. And he's there eating, I believe it's like duck or something. Yeah, there's a part where he's given like a fucking food. He's like, duck, such a great meal, you know, such a great meal. It's like, oh yeah, I can have this. It's like, can I have this? Like, yes, certainly, sir, and all that. He walks in like, this is amazing. And he even eats, the villain even eats meals, and he's like, can't beat a bit of duck, you know, day and night. But I also love that John Wick actually does kill someone with a pencil in this movie. There's a part where he's going through like the kind of excavator thing or whatever, and there's people going, he's like, oh fuck, and you know, like kind of through the train station, and there's people going, and there's people like, he's there, people fucking coming at him left and right, like, oh shit, and he's stabbing people, like, and there's people, grab him and all that, and they're fucking him up and stabbing him, coming behind him, and he's fucking them and slicing their fucking throats, like, shooting them, and these other two guys are going, and trying to attack him, and he grabs this one guy, slams him on the fucking table, shoves a fucking pencil into him and goes, kills him, hits his head off, slams his pencil into his head, throws him on the ground, just there shooting people left and right, fucking shooting, that's fucking glory, I love it, America. Anyway, there's people going like, and just great action scene, like, and people going, oh my god, people shooting. I mean, he doesn't say that, but come on, shooting whatever. It's like, it's awesome. Anyway, yeah, so that was great. It's getting fucking hot in here. It's getting really hot in here. So take off all your clothes. Sorry. Anyway, so that's what I was saying. You have, you know, John Wick coming into fucking out of breath. Maybe I need to relax when I'm excited. John Wick goes into the whole hotel. He's like, is the boss here? He's like, he's always here. He's ready to see you. They're in the lounge. It's like, okay, you know, walks into Lance Reddick. Great moment, walking, the music, goes down or whatever. Season Bear's like, oh, John. And he's like, so great to see you again. It's like, you can't have it. It's like, John, be careful what you do. Jonathan, don't break the rules. I want this life. I hate this. I'll kill all the motherfuckers. I'll kill this bad guy. It's like, you can't do anything. You know, Duck is a great thing, John. You do all this because of a puppy. You can't do anything. You killed all these men, so I'll kill you. You know, and just this great dialogue between them. And it's like, you can't do anything. You're not going to do anything. He pulls a gun. Don't do it, John. He's like, you have no idea what I'm capable of. I was like, oh, you won't do it. And then he just goes, you won't do it, John. And he just pulls the gun and shoots him in the fucking head. And he goes, consequences or something like that. And then he goes, oh my God, dear God, what have you done? And then Lance Reddick's there, he walks out. And of course, I already talked about the scene where Lance Reddick gives him the dog and he goes off in the car. And then you get a great setup for John Wick Chapter 3 with a great fucking cliffhanger to this movie. Oh, Daddy. Sorry. So John walks out, whatever, drives off, and then you get another scene with him and Ian McShane talking. It's like, you do realise that what you've... I think him and Lawrence Fishburne was like, you gotta be careful or whatever. And I don't know if him, Lawrence Fishburne, and Ian McShane talks like, you gotta be careful, whatever. And then he's like, you do realise that this excommunicado is awful, and that I should be the one killing you and stuff. But I can't. Rules are rules, John. I have to open up this contract. He's like, I know about that, Winston. It's like, you gotta be careful, John. It's like, I know, Winston. I know. It's like, you can't have any of that shit going on or whatever. And he's like, yes. It's like, you do realise we have to. What has to be done is like, I do. It's all that. It's like, I don't care. Anyone tries running, I'll kill them all. It's like, I don't know if you kill them all, John. It's like, I will. It's like, you have an hour, so it's like, you ready? It's like, walks off. It's like, yeah. He's like, God help us all. Then he's like, T minus contract on John Wick, T minus 1 minute, 1 hour. Is like, okay, Winston, bye, run, John. Then you just see John running, and then it cuts to like contract on John Wick, T minus 1 minute, 1 hour, and he's walking, and he just runs like, here you go, and he's trying to get to these places, and he's walking, and he's putting the coins there. He's like, here you go, T minus blah blah blah, T minus blah. And throughout the film, it's like T minus blah 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 blah. You know, you have an hour. He's walking or whatever. He's running, and you just cut to everyone, like people on benches, seeing him walking past, and like getting a text message on their phone. All assassins, like that was earlier as well. People getting text messages on their phone, looking over. People getting guns, and then all that, and then it's more or less the same, like people getting text messages and guns, and they're all like, dude, he's running. It's like, he's gonna run after him. They're getting guns and all this other kind of shit, text messages, and they're all looking, and you just see John Wick running, and just all of that, they're just kind of looking over and over and all that. And eventually it's like T minus 1 minute. It's like, and then eventually he just runs off, cuts to black, get the directed by, and he leave on an amazing cliffhanger, amazing credits that also have footage from the movie, but also like amazing CGI. And this is an awesome sequel. I honestly think that this movie honestly could be better than the first one. I don't know. The action in this is top notch. The directing and one shots are brilliantly done. It's really well edited. It's really well written. The acting is great. I think Keanu Reeves does a great job as John Wick again. He re-inspires his role. Ian McShane comes back as Winston. The late great Lance Riddick, isn't it? Lance Riddick? Oh my god, comes back. The actress, I don't believe this actress is deaf, but she actually done a great job. All the villain done a great job. Great action. John Leguizamo's small role and it was great. Love the film. Brilliant cinematography, very colourful, visually stunning, brilliant music, original and other soundtracks. They're like, oh, the Baba Yaga, and I love how they still call him the Baba Yaga. Oh, the Baba Yaga's coming. It's like, and then Lawrence Fishburne's like, the Bobo Yaga, the Baba Yaga, John Wick. You know, Lawrence Fishburne was a great addition, and I like the Matrix reunion. Even though I haven't seen the Matrix. Oh, and a great chemistry. Brilliant action, amazing visuals, brilliant music, great celebrity cameos at the start. Give the movie 10 out of 10. The Blu-ray quality is amazing. It's a great print. You got a lot of great features on this. Great, nice little slip cover. Nice out case, isn't it? Nice out DVD case. I actually haven't said that in years. Blu-ray case. But anyway, here is the front, spine, back. Front, spine, back. Also, yeah, actually, the other thing is, like, this 2 hours 2 minutes, so it's longer than the first one. There's the disc, little digital thing. What was I gonna say? It's gonna say something there. Kind of went out of my head. Yeah. So this is the last one, I believe. Don't think Warner Brothers didn't do the third and fourth one. It was Lionsgate. But the roller coaster company, whatever it is, what's it called? I don't know. Whatever it's fucking called. They done it. But yeah. So I will have a review for John Wick 3 and 4. I'll most likely record my John Wick 4 review first, and then I'll do my John Wick 3 review. I want to review John Wick 4 first because I want to review it while it's fresh in my mind. So yeah. Whereas, like, if I had issues, I could just rewatch these, you know. Whereas I don't have access to the fourth one, so I've only seen it in cinema. I can't afford to pay again. So yeah. So that's my movie review of John Wick Chapter 2. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys later. Bye. It was an hour and a half long. The review was an hour and a half long. I don't give a shit. Whatever.